Hey guys, fluxJeLLy here, bringing you guys another StarCraft2 commentary featuring myself, fluxJeLLy spawning at the 2 o'clock position as the green Zerg, and Sref, the blue Terran, spawning at the 12 o'clock position on Shattered Temple. Shattered Temple ZvT, it's not, I don't really like it very much just because these rocks are really hard to get down to grab a third, so it kind of gives Terran an advantage. And I mean, if Terran were to grab their third back here, I mean, this is easily defended. I mean, there's one little choke point right here, unless they come through your natural, which, if they're doing that, you're probably going to be losing anyway. And even right here, if you throw a planetary down at this gold, it's really easy to defend with turrets and this really small choke right here. So I don't really like playing Terrans on this map just because I do think that they have a little bit of an advantage. But nonetheless, we'll get into the game here. We do have Sref putting down a supply depot at his ramp as per usual. He's probably going to wall that off with a barracks and another depot. Pretty standard Terran build. As for me, probably going to throw down a 15 hatch. I like doing 15 hatch against Terrans just because the only real build they have is a 2 racks to deal with a 15 hatch. And I mean, even now where they increase the build time on the barracks by that extra 5 seconds, I mean, it gives you that little bit more of more time to defend it. And so we do have the barracks going down now for Sref. My drone hasn't left yet. Should be leaving there pretty soon. At around 200 is usually when I send the drone. That usually gets him there just as I get 300 minerals. There goes the drone now. So yeah, there will be a 15 hatch coming. Unless Sref sees this and blocks it, he might try to block it with his SCV. No, he does actually scout into the base. So the hatch will go down pretty easily here. I didn't have to do any drone trickery. So I will put the Overlord here. And this is important for you Zerg players. Put this Overlord in your natural just so you can make sure that he's not building bunkers somewhere out of range. Because hatcheries that are building have a really short range for sight, so you need that Overlord just to check to see if that SCV is going to put a bunker down there anywhere. He is actually moving away with the SCV right now, so he doesn't look like he's going to do anything too suspicious. Actually, no, he is coming back with that SCV, so he will probably end up putting a bunker down. Yeah, he's going to put a bunker down right there. I don't know if that's in my sight or not. It actually is, so I do see this, so I should be reacting pretty soon, bringing down some drones just to shoo away that SCV. It's not going to be really heavy pressure. We do see he did drop a gas, so he's not gonna have too much pressure coming from this. And here comes a Marine now. He probably just did this to make me pull a lot of drones off mining, which is actually pretty smart. I mean, he's not gonna lose a lot when he cancels this. He's only gonna lose about 25 minerals, so it's actually not that big of a loss for him. While I have 5 drones out here that aren't mining. Yeah, he probably will cancel that barracks right now as the Marine is shoot away as well. The thing about Marines are, if you only have like 1 or 2 and you're facing drones, drones are actually faster than Marines, so they can't scoot and shoot. You can just surround them with the drones and actually kill the Marine off pretty quick. So yeah, so that bunker did get cancelled. And here's one advantage to a 15 hatch. When he threw down that bunker right here and I had to pull all my drones, instead of having to go all the way back up into my main to mine again, I can just simply put them over here and I lose a lot less mining time since that hatch is actually done. So that's a little bit of an advantage you get if you go a hatch first against the 2 racks. We do see a factory going down now for Sref and a reactor, so he is probably going to go into Hellions into an expand. I would say, yeah, there's actually the command center right now. This is actually a really common build. A lot of Terrans like to do this build just because you can get those Hellions out to contain the Zerg and you can expand behind it and, you know, keep up with their economy. So it is a pretty solid build. A lot of Terrans like to do it, and it easily transitions into either Marine tank or mech, so it's really easy to go either way. So yeah, he is going to move that factory there on top of the reactor and get those Hellions out right now. As for me, I do have a couple Lings that are going to go out and poke around. But here's the danger. If those Hellions pop out before my speed is done, those Zerglings are pretty much dead, just because Hellions are so fast and these Lings are going to be really slow without that speed. So the Hellions can actually take them out pretty quick. But when you throw down a 15 hatch like this, you see how far my creep spread is out of my natural right now? That means I can put down a spine here and a spine here and have my main completely defended and down here completely defended from Hellions. So it just lets you, like where the hatch is down that much earlier, it lets that creep get out there so you can throw that defense down in time for the Hellions. And we do see, as I said before, those Zerglings getting totally caught without speed. Speed now just kicking in so that 1 Ling gets away. That was a lot of Zerglings that got killed. That's going to force a lot more Lings out of me right here, which is not what I want in the early game. You do just want to be making drones at this point. So right now, he does have the 2 Hellions poking in to do some damage. What I need to do is just use my Lings to keep the Hellions at bay. Just keep them out of here until these spines finish. When these spines finish, I'll be completely fine. I can drone up again, and I won't have to worry about Hellions. But right now, like if they did a run by here, I'd be in so much trouble. But I do keep them at bay with the Queen and the Zerglings. It does look like the spine is actually going to get up. So yes, the spines do actually get up, so I should be fine now. But look at all the Lings he forced. I mean, that's a lot of Zerglings. These could all be drones right here. And look, even more popped out. These could all be drones. But but they had to get wasted for Lings. And if we look at the income tab right now, I'm only 3 drones ahead, and he has mules, so I mean, I'm really not ahead at all. He does have that extra orbital as well, so yeah, if all these Lings were drones, I'd be in a much better position right now. But I do have these 2 spines, so I can drone it pretty hard behind this, since there's not really much he can do right now to do any damage to me. We do see that that reactor getting put on that factory, so this is probably going to be a Marine tank, or a really weird Marine Hellion push, because he is throwing down a starport here, so I do imagine he'll probably switch the starport with this reactor, and yeah, he's actually going to do that and go into medevacs, and he's going to put a tech lab on this factory, so he's either going to try to drop Blue Flame Hellions into my base, or he's going to go into Marine tank with medevac. Yeah, it's pretty hard to tell at this point in time. He said pretty much at this point, just keep your scouting going as a Zerg, poke him with overlords every now and then to see what he's doing. Even though he is being really obnoxious with his Marine and keeping his Marine on patrol here to stop overlord scouting, but he still can come in from down here. And by the looks of all these barracks, I do think it'll be Marine tank, just because you need those tanks to back up your Marines if you're going to go that heavy into barracks. I do have double Evo going down right now, so I will be going heavy into Ling Bane upgrades, which is really good because if you're going against Marine tank and you get your Zergling upgrades, that 1 carapace is actually huge. If they have tanks and they don't upgrade the weapons, which a lot of times Terrans will forget to do till kind of late in the game, the tanks won't actually one-shot Lings. They'll actually take 2 shots to kill the Lings, so that actually makes a really big difference. You get a better surround with your Lings, which means more Banelings can hit the Marines, and it makes your army a whole lot better right now. So we see him throwing down an Evo, Engineering Bay, I should say, so he is going to have some infantry upgrades as well. Bunkering up is natural. He does have that orbital producing SCVs, so he is going to be pretty, he's going to be keeping up with me anyways in the economy. We do have double upgrades coming right now. The Baneling nest is down. Don't see any Banelings yet. The layer is on the way. You do want to get some early Banelings just because if they start to like drop harass you, or just poke him with Marines a lot, or even do a really early tank Marine push, Banelings do make it really easy to defend, because Marines with medevacs especially. We do actually see a drop coming out right now. Marines with medevac support are really strong, but he doesn't have any upgrades, so my upgrades will be able to help me defend this a lot easier. He actually goes right by my Overlord too, so I should see this drop coming. All the Lings are in the natural still though, so he is going to drop these Marines down into my main, but there the Lings go. They are moving into the main, so they are going to catch this drop. A lot of Marines getting dropped off though, 16 Marines. The Lings are going to get a surround though, and he is going to pick up these Marines, get them out of here before they all get killed. And he actually does pick them all up, but a lot of Marines went down, and 7 Marines or so did actually die in that engage. So he did lose a lot right there, and you can see the +1 upgrades not quite kicked in yet, but there was just too many Lings at that point. So yeah, so I mean, he had to get out of there. And the Queen was picking at the medevac. You don't want to lose those medevacs really early, because you want to save all that gas for your tanks and your upgrades. Stim is done, as you can see, and also is siege mode, so he just has combat shields left to get, and his +1 attack is actually on the way as well. Still no Banelings, which is really surprising. The reason why I did that, actually, though, throwing in a couple spines in my main, too, just for a little bit of defense, but the reason why I didn't get any Banelings really early is because I wanted to get more mutas out. I like the map control mutas given. I like my muta harass is pretty good, I think. So I feel like mutas actually give me a bit of an advantage in a game, because I can usually control them pretty well and do a little bit of damage. So I did want to get more mutas out than normal. So that's why I kind of held off on the Banelings, but it is a double-edged sword. I mean, the Banelings, they do help defend a lot, and they'll make you a lot safer, and it's a lot riskier to play with mutas, but I still like to take that risk just to get the advantage of having all those mutas. We do have another drop actually coming out right now. More Marines are coming, but 1-1 is actually done right now, and his isn't quite done yet, so I will have a little bit of an advantage here. He does have the medevacs though, and medevac support with Marines is really good. There's still no Banelings on the field either, so this is going to be pure Ling dealing with this drop. The Marines are actually stimming into the base right now. They are going to take out the Spine Crawler pretty easily, and this Queen should actually go down as well. Yeah, the Queen almost going down instantly, and some drones are actually going to start going down now. A couple of drones are going down. The Lings are coming in. A nice split there. Some Lings going around this way, so we can get a full surround here on the Marines. Because I think a lot of these Marines die. You should be picking them up and leaving right now, because there's a lot of Marines going down right now. And yeah, the Lings actually do fight off this drop. And he only is left with 4 Marines after that attack, so his Marine count's going to be really low right now. Yeah, you can see he doesn't have very many Marines here in his main. And, I mean, as a Terran, you don't want to really trade with a Zerg army, just because, I mean, Lings are so just basically inexpensive, and they regen so fast that if you start trading with them, they're just going to overrun you eventually, because your army's just going to keep getting smaller and smaller and smaller. So now we do have our first Banelings coming on the field right now, which is good. My third is going to be up and running soon. He's actually throwing down his third too. He's starting to break down his rocks. Should be morphing that into an orbital soon. The mutas are starting to move out here. We do have 12 mutas right here, so we will pick around a little bit. A lot of turrets are actually down right now, though. You can see 3 turrets right here, a 4th one on the way, so these mutas should be getting out of here. This is not a chance. You should not be engaging right here. You don't want your mutas to get lost to missile turrets like this. Trading mutas for missile turrets is not a good situation. And yeah, look, another muta going right there. So I actually lost about 6 mutas there, or 5 mutas, which is really, really bad, because you want to keep that muta count really high, because if you let your mutas die off a lot, and you had to replenish their count, it means you have to spend a lot of gas on mutas, and you're not going to have any gas left for banelings. And banelings are really what kill these marines off. I mean, lings aren't very good against marines with medevacs and stim, and neither are mutas. Mutas get shredded by marines, so you do need a lot of banelings just to keep those marines under control. And if you had to replenish a lot of mutas, you're just not going to have the gas for it, and you're going to be in a tough spot, and your army's pretty much just going to melt. So yes, so you do see I've replenished the mutas a little bit. +2 attack is on the way. A lot of drones on the way. I'm trying to drone up my 3rd here. I don't sense any danger because I did kill off those 2 early drops, which is going to lower his army count a lot. So I am free to drone up a little bit. Armory now going down along with the 2nd NG base, so he's going to be getting double ups for his infantry, and he's probably going to go into either Thor's or he's going to get some upgrades for his tanks. You do really want to get that +1 upgrade for tanks, for weapons, just because it'll make killing lings a lot easier. Because 1 upgrade from a tank, I'm pretty sure no armor upgrades are going to stop lings from getting one-shotted. So that is a pretty key upgrade here. And look at all the turrets he put down in his base. So many turrets. He did invest a lot in those missile turrets, but I mean, he had double orbital with mules, so he can't afford the minerals to throw down this many turrets. And I mean, there's nothing I can do with mutas right now to get into this base. I mean, I could kill off these 2 turrets maybe, but by the time I do kill off these turrets, marines should be in the main. So that actually is going to limit the amount of damage I can do with the mutas severely. They are going to fly around here and see if they can do any damage. And even now, look at all the turrets at his natural, or at his 3rd base as well. I mean, just so many turrets. There's nothing what mutas can do. I'm going to try to pick off the gas here, but I don't really think they should be doing this. This is a waste. I'm doing a lot of damage to my mutas, and I'm only going to pick off the gas. It's not even mining. So I mean, at this point, this is really bad. I don't want to do that with my mutas. I did lose a couple there. Really bad control by me, actually, I should say. You don't really want to lose mutas at all. Especially the missile turrets. The missile turrets are expendable, and look at that, 3 more mutas going down right there. So yeah, this is really bad. Muta count is really low. His army count is actually really high compared to mine right now. And a drop in my 3rd base, actually taking off a lot of drones here, but it did get cleaned up by those lings, and the mutas should be able to clean up this dropship relatively easily. He should be dropping off his marines. Yeah, there they go, but he's not going to get that many out. 3 marines aren't going to kill off any amount of mutas just because they're not going to do enough damage. We do see, though, instantly resaturated here. So the drone count is going to remain high. If you look at the income tab, it's 71 over 60. But look at his mineral income. It's so high just because he has 3 orbital commands. Like, this orbital command at the 3rd is a high risk, high reward strategy. Just because, I mean, yeah, you're going to have triple mule and a lot of income. But if I were to break down these rocks, this 3rd is going to be so susceptible to ling run-bys because there's no planetary here, and these missile turrets obviously don't hit lings. So these SCVs are going to be wide open for baneling or ling hits, really, because yeah, there's no planetary. So it's not very safe. If you can keep it like safe and you can stop any run-bys, then yeah, by all means go for the orbital. But if you're in any way danger of getting a run-by, make this a planetary. It's just safer, and I mean, the amount of income you're going to get out of it isn't that high compared to the amount of damage that can be done. So it is fairly risky. We do have some Hellenes out in the middle of the map right now. Going to get surrounded by these mutas, or picked off anyways, because they are running into a dead end. So yeah, these are going to get picked off. And a move out actually right now. A lot of Marines, but just think about if you never lost those drops, how many more Marines you have. You'd have like this page probably full of Marines. So that's that was really big. And he's actually going to be throwing some turrets down in the middle of the map too. This is actually really, really effective against Zergs. It really helps contain, because I can't run around and pick off these tanks with mutas if these turrets get up. Just because the turrets do so much damage to the mutas, and I mean, there's so many Marines here as well. So this is actually going to be a really good contain. It's going to be really hard to break. He does have all these tanks here sieged already. I do have a lot of mutas. I do have 28 mutas here, so that is a pretty high muta count, and they do have +1 weapons. But I mean, this many missile turrets and Marines are just going to shred these mutas, so there's really nothing I can do to pick off these tanks. So what he should be doing right now is slow pushing into my creep, scanning here and just picking off creep tumors, and then slowly moving in. He is actually going to drop a couple of Marines here at my 3rd, it looks like, and he actually unsieges all his tanks. This could be huge. If he doesn't siege up again and I start engaging here, he's going to be in really big trouble. He's on creep. The Banelings do have speed, and yeah, here comes the engage right now. The Lings and the Banelings are running in. The Marines aren't running away, and the Banelings take out all the Marines, and the mutas come in and clean up the tanks, and yeah, there's the GG from Sref. So basically what happened there was he unsieged all his tanks, which immediately takes away the tank support to kill the Banelings for the Marines. and as soon as you move onto a Zerg's creep, he's going to engage because he's got so much speed. He'll be able to surround you so fast. What he had to do there was actually siege up here on the outskirts of my creep, and then just throw a scan down here. He has 3 orbitals. It's really not that big of a loss, and just pick off these creep tumors. And as the creep recedes, you move some tanks, you leapfrog them forward, and keep your marines there so that you just can't pick off your tanks while you're reinforcing. And so in that case, when you move forward and keep picking off creep, I can't get that surround, and your tanks are sieged, and then they can kill the banelings. But in this case, he did not do that, and so the banelings were free to kill all his marines while the mutas killed the tanks, and he pretty much lost his entire army. There was actually also a counterattack over here, which I actually did miss. I broke down those rocks and ran in with lings, and like I said, I mean, this was so vulnerable to who run by that, I mean, if this was a planetary, that would have been shut down really fast. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you learned something, and I should be casting some replays pretty soon. The FSL, the Flux StarCraft League, is still going, so if I get any interesting replays from that, I should put them up here soon. So yeah, guys, stay tuned for more.